Now that we have a basic understanding of our dataset, let's draw our first Power BI visual. From the data view, we know that we have 1000 sales records in our dataset. Let's see whether we can visualize it using the visuals given in the visualization pane over here. It's important for us to understand the best type of visual to use depending on the data we want to display. By default, Power BI gives a various type of visuals to represent our data. We have different types of bar charts, we have line charts and area charts, pie charts, donut charts. We also have map views if we want to display data on a map. Now we want to show that we have 1000 sales records. In other words, we want to display a number in our report. So if we want to display a number, the best visualization we could use is this card visual. To use it, you can simply click on the card visual and it populates a gray color card over here in our canvas. Now that our card visual is ready, it's time to answer the bigger question. How can we get the number of sales records? Earlier, we discussed that invoice ID is a unique number for each sales transaction. In other words, for each and every sale, the system generates a unique record called the invoice ID. So, if we count the number of invoice IDs, then we should be able to get the number of sales made. Alright, so as we agreed to use the invoice ID, let's go to the data table and find the invoice ID. To use this, you simply have to drag and drop the invoice ID to the field section here. Okay, we got some result, but it's not the result we expected. Let's expand the card visual to see the full record. So move the mouse to the edge of the card visual until you get a double-sided arrow like this, and then on mouse click, slowly expand it. Right. Here you can see that the card visual is showing the first invoice ID. Alright. So if you go to the field section in our visualization pane, you can see that our field is showing the first invoice ID. But we actually want to get the count of all invoice IDs. So to do that, you have to click on this arrow and it will give us different options. We can get the first invoice ID or the last invoice ID. We also can get the distinct count of invoice IDs and the count of invoice IDs as well. As we want the unique number of invoice IDs, we can select the count distinct option. Now you can see that we got the value we wanted. It's showing that we have 1000 invoice IDs, which means that we have 1000 sales records.